Hello, UAGC graduates and alumni. Welcome to a very special live event where we're going to help you prepare to make the most out of the 2026 Commencement Career Fair happening on Saturday, May 30th during Commencement Weekend in Glendale, Arizona. Whether you're actively job hunting or just exploring opportunities, today's session will give you the tools and tips to succeed. For those new to our live events, I'm Ben Gauthier, and I'll be your host today. I'm joined by three amazing experts from our UAGC Career Services. Nicole Methvin, our employer relations specialist, who works directly with employers to bring a diverse group of companies to the career fair. Werner Petzold, our employer outreach specialist, helping graduates connect with employers and understand what they're looking for. And Amanda McCarthy, our career advisor, who will guide you on how to prepare, network, and present yourself at your best. Now, please don't be shy in the comments. Share your questions as we go. At the end of the event, we'll answer any questions you might have, so stick around. But first, let's get started with introductions. Nicole, can you kick us off?
I would love nothing more, Ben. Thank you so much for having us today. Hi, everybody. Like Ben said, my name is Nicole, and I am the Employer Relations Specialist here with UAGC Career Services. I've been with the university now for about 4.5 years. I actually started off as a career advisor and then just recently transitioned over into employer relations. I've worked in career services for over 8 years, and before higher ed, I was also a corporate recruiter. So that experience kind of gives me a unique perspective on hiring from both the student and employer sides. In my current role as the employee relations specialist, I connect our students and alumni with top employers nationwide, and I help to oversee employer partnerships, support recruiting initiatives, and then help to align those employer hiring needs with the amazing talent that we have here at UAGC. My true passion is bridging that gap between education and opportunity, creating those meaningful connections that really do lead to real career outcomes. So I'm stoked to be here today and to really help you make the most of the amazing Commencement Career Fair, helping to share tips on how to prepare, stand out, and connect with employers in person.
Thank you, Nicole. Werner, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure, Ben. Hi, everybody at UAGC. Thank you for attending our university. I've worked at UAGC now for 10 years, 3 years as a military academic advisor and 7 years as an employer outreach specialist. And before I came to higher education, I served in the U.S. Air Forces for 10 years, and 4 of those years were spent as a recruiter. 6 of those years were spent as a military photographer. And I also worked as an area manager and manager at AT&T for 13 years, running call centers in the consumer markets group. So in my current role as an employer outreach specialist, I reach out to employers nationwide to partner with UAGC so our students and alumni can connect with employers and apply to jobs. This includes reaching out to corporations, federal and state agencies, and military organizations across the U.S. And my efforts in employer outreach connect our students, wonderful students like you, with our life-changing opportunities, of course. That's very fulfilling for me. And I'm excited to be here today to offer advice on how to maximize your interactions with recruiters at our Commencement Career Fair in Phoenix on May 30th. And I'd like to add, we have an outstanding employers that will be attending this year at the event. So welcome.
That's amazing. Amanda, your turn.
Awesome. Thank you, Ben. My name is Amanda, and I'm one of the career advisors here at UAGC. I've been with the university since 2018, and I work with students in our business and technology programs, as well as our military-connected student population. In this role as a career advisor, I coach students and alumni through every stage in the job search journey. So this includes everything from exploring career options, developing strategic job search plans, optimizing a resume, and mastering interview techniques. I'm also an associate faculty member here at UAGC, and I've been teaching Gen 101 since 2022. I'm super excited to be with you today as we gear up for the upcoming Commencement Career Fair.
Perfect. Thank you all for being here. I just want to shout out to Joni, Sharena, Tashara, and Rhonda. Thank you guys for saying hello in the chat. We're very, very happy you're here. Just so you know, this video will be available for 30 days on UAGC's Facebook page under our live video recordings. So you can rewatch, but just for the next 30 days. Let's get started with our first question. Amanda, This career fair will take place on Saturday, May 30th in Glendale, Arizona. Do graduates need to attend the full 3 hours of the career fair?
This is a great question, Ben. So, no, you definitely do not have to attend for the full 3 hours. The career fair is open for 3 hours to give you plenty of flexibility. So, you can drop in at any point during the event. You can stay for the full time if you want, or you could just come for parts that work with your schedule. So, it's totally up to you. What matters most is making those quality connections while you're there.
Nicole, what employers are attending this year's career fair? Are there any specific industries or companies graduates should be excited about?
Great question, Ben. So happy to address this. So we are super excited about this year's Commencement Career Fair. We already have employers from a wide range of industries that are registered, and more continue to sign up each and every week. So some of the big names graduates will definitely want to check out include T-Mobile, the FBI, Knight Swift Transportation, Basis Charter Schools, and Drive Time Family Brands, just to name a few. And we also have a really diverse mix of industries too. So from corporate and tech to organizations like 4Block to federal and local government agencies such as the City of Phoenix Human Resources, as well as U.S. Customs and Border Protection. What's super exciting about this fair is that it's designed specifically for working adult learners and career changers. And there are really opportunities for people at every stage of their career, whether you're looking for a first role or a promotion or even a complete career pivot. And I also do want to highlight that even though this fair is based in Arizona, many of these organizations are hiring nationally for roles across the country. So there are real opportunities here that can really lead anywhere in the US, depending on the role and organization. So honestly, the variety and quality of employers is incredible, and I can't wait for our students and alumni to connect with them, ask questions, and really get a feel for what each organization has to offer. It's going to be a fantastic networking and career building opportunity.
That's amazing. Werner, when you speak with the employers leading up to the career fair, what are they telling you about what they're looking for in candidates, and how can graduates prepare from the employer's perspective to stand out?
Great question, Ben. Employers want to see if if a candidate has the skills to accomplish the job, and then if they can see the candidate fit in their organization and the team they will be working with. So while work experience is a definite plus, interaction with team members and contributing to success of projects and the team is also important. There are numerous virtual meetings with employers that I attend regularly in this job. I hear recruiters mention if you want to stand out when applying, show your accomplishments at each job in your resume. Most candidates list a job description, and that doesn't show the impact that the candidate will bring to the hiring organization. Employers want to see what you'll bring overall over the other candidates. So you always want to do that. And then you should also tailor your resume to each role that you apply to. General resumes show recruiters you didn't take the time to present why you're a good fit for the role and how you can positively impact their organization. Take the time to show employers why you're the right choice. Also, researching companies and asking thoughtful questions shows recruiters and hiring managers your genuine interest in the company and how you can see yourself contributing there. Recruiters want to see how you can be part of their organization.
Now that we've heard from all three of you, I'd just like to point out something in the chat. Rebecca Davis says the University of Arizona Global Campus has an amazing career services team. How nice is that? Werner, another question for you. Last year's career fair had some amazing moments. From what you've heard from employers, what was the highlight for them last year? And what are they most excited about for this year?
Another great question, Ben. Last year, employers loved meeting highly motivated, prepared students who asked thoughtful questions. I know I mentioned that earlier, but it's a really good thing to ask thoughtful questions. This year, they're excited to see even more graduates bring real-world experience, strong resumes, and enthusiasm to connect. The best advice we can provide is to continue being prepared. Keep your options open. I always mention that when I'm there. You're going to see us, by the way, when we're down there. So I'll be saying that 50 times. Keep your options open, research companies, Ask thoughtful questions. You'll eventually see yourself in a conversation with recruiters and your discussion will flow freely. Remember that recruiters also want to see how you communicate, so let the conversation flow naturally. You'll learn about each employer and you'll be networking, which will help you decide what employers would be a good fit for you.
Awesome. Amanda, we hear elevator pitches are key. Can you share tips for crafting one that grabs a recruiter's attention?
Yes, the famous elevator pitch. So this is such a great question, and it's one of the most valuable tools that you can have when attending a career fair or really just any networking event. So at its core, your elevator pitch is just your verbal resume. It's a brief, confident introduction that tells someone who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for. So you can really think about it as your 30-second highlight reel. So I'm going to provide just a simple formula to help you craft your pitch. So as I mentioned, that first part is who you are. Start with your name and your major or your field of study. The next part is what you do. Mention a key strength, a project that you've worked on, some of your prior work experience, or an internship. The third part, what you are seeking. So this could be a job at the company, an internship, or just a professional opportunity. And then the last part, why them? And this is really important. Make sure that you tie your interest back to that specific company or that industry or that role that you're interested in. So just to provide a little example, this could be my elevator pitch if I was attending the career fair. Hi, I'm Amanda. I recently earned my Master's of Human Resource Management degree at UAGC. I have over 10 years of experience in human resources, career services, and teaching, and I'm passionate about using technology to enhance learning and career development. I'm very interested in your company's focus on leveraging technology to fuel innovation, and I would love to learn more about your HR opportunities. After sharing my pitch, I would just smile and then let the conversation flow naturally from there. So we are going to drop an elevator pitch resource in the chat to help you craft your own pitch, so make sure you check it out.
Excellent. We'll get that posted quickly. There is a question that's actually a part of our script here. Katrina is asking suggestions on dress code for the fair. So, Nicole, do you have anything to say about that?
I certainly do, Ben. I love this question because dressing professionally is really important because first impressions do matter. And especially in a busy career fair, employers notice candidates who come prepared as well as polished. And so in general, I recommend business professional attire if you're targeting corporate, government, or even more formal industries. So that means suits, dress shirts, blouses, slacks, or professional dresses. For industries that are a bit more casual, like some tech, creative, nonprofit roles, business casual is usually appropriate, but even then, aim to look neat, polished, and put together. Another key tip is to research the organizations that will be there ahead of time. You're going to hear us say this a lot today. But knowing who you're speaking with really not only helps you to guide your attire, but it also shows employers that you're serious and you're prepared. So for example, if you know you're meeting with a federal agency like the FBI or US Customs and Border Protection, business professional attire is a must. For a tech company or creative organization, business casual may be fine, but you still want to look intentional and confident. The reason dressing to impress is so powerful is that it communicates professionalism, confidence, and respect, and it really gives you a confidence boost, which helps you to start those conversations naturally as well as stand out from the crowd. So my advice, when in doubt, dress a step up above the company culture. So it's better to be slightly overdressed than underdressed, and it really sets the tone for making a strong, memorable impression.
That's great advice. A step above. Amanda, aside from bringing a resume, what else should graduates have with them to stand out?
Yes, another great question. So while your resume is essential, there are several additional items that you can bring to feel confident and well prepared for the career fair. So the first one is that resume. I recommend bringing several copies of your updated professional resume and make sure you have enough to hand out to all of the employers that you plan to speak with. If you still need to update or refine a resume, we do recommend using our resume module, which walks you through each section and it includes several examples to guide you as well. So we're going to drop a link to that module in the chat. The next item is business cards. If you have a professional business card, bringing a few of those to share with the recruiters that you connect with can be a small touch that leaves a big impression with them. And it can also help them to remember you after the event. The third item is make sure you update your LinkedIn profile. This one's really important. So, a lot of employers like to connect with students on LinkedIn after meeting them at the fair. So, just make sure that your profile is up to date and that it reflects your skills, your education, your experiences, as well as your career interests. And then the last item is prepared questions for employers. So I recommend having 3 to 5 thoughtful questions ready to ask the employers that you speak with at the career fair. So, like Werner mentioned, this really does show that genuine interest and it helps you to stand out as somebody who is prepared. They have done their research ahead of time. So, here are just a few examples that you could use and, definitely tailor these to your interests as well. But it could be, what does your hiring process typically involve? What do you personally enjoy about working at this company? What opportunities for growth and advancement exist within your organization? And how would you describe your company culture? So, being prepared with materials and questions shows initiative and professionalism, and it can leave a lasting impression with these recruiters.
Excellent. Nicole, after connecting with recruiters, what's the best way to follow up and keep the conversation going?
That's a really great question, Ben. So the key is to follow up quickly. So aim within 24 to 48 hours while the conversation is really still fresh in both your minds. And the best approach is always a personalized thank you email or LinkedIn message. And you want to make sure to also highlight something specific from your conversation, whether it was a topic that you connected on, maybe a shared interest, a particular role or project that the recruiter might have mentioned. This really shows that you were engaged and genuinely interested in it. So I also have an example for what you can say. So you could say something like, "Hi, Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me at the UAGC Commencement Career Fair. I really enjoyed learning more about T-Mobile and especially appreciated our discussion about what skills are needed to be successful at your organization. I'm super excited about the opportunity to contribute and would love to stay in touch." So after you send that note, it's also a really great idea to connect either on LinkedIn and or Handshake and really stay updated on the company's news or openings. Following up thoughtfully not only helps you to stand out, but it also turns a quick conversation at the career fair into a lasting professional connection. And small steps like this really can set you apart in the hiring process.
These are all great tips. Amanda, do you have any quick etiquette tips for networking at the career fair? Things graduates should or shouldn't do?
Yes, absolutely, Ben. So, networking etiquette is key to making a strong and lasting impression at a career fair. So, I'm just going to cover a few tips to keep in mind while networking. The first one is be genuine and engaged. So, approach each employer with sincerity. Ask those thoughtful questions about the company, their available roles, and even their personal experiences within the organization. I know we've already touched upon this, but it really does show that genuine interest and it helps you to build rapport with the recruiters. The next tip is make a strong first impression. This is very underrated. When introducing yourself, make eye contact, offer a confident handshake, and smile. Speak clearly and with enthusiasm. These first impressions matter, and those small details really can go a long ways. The next one is be an active listener. So make sure that you're giving the employer your full attention. You're nodding, you're responding to what they're saying, and you're avoiding interrupting them. Listening is just as important as speaking when it comes to networking. And then the last piece of advice is definitely make sure that you follow up after the fair. So, as Nicole just mentioned, always make sure that you're sending that follow up message to the recruiters that you connected with. And so to help with these follow-ups, we're going to drop our networking tips and tricks resource in the chat.
Thank you very much for that. We've been talking about things to do after the career fair, but Nicole, what career services resources should graduates take advantage of as they prepare beforehand?
Yeah, that is a great question, Ben. And Amanda has already mentioned a few, so you already have access to some of them in the chat. There are a few key career services resources that I'm always encouraging graduates to really lean into as they prepare, especially heading into either a career fair or an active job search. So Handshake is going to be your central hub. And I really mean that. It's really where you can build and polish your profile, explore job opportunities, register for networking events, as well as research employers ahead of time so you can actually walk into conversations feeling prepared, confident, and intentional. One of my biggest tips is to actually spend some time on the employer pages in Handshake before the event. Review what they do, what roles they're actively hiring for, and use that to really shape your questions and talking points. Inside that Handshake resource library, I also highly recommend starting with that resume module, like what Amanda said previously. It really will walk you through step-by-step building out and refining a strong professional resume. And then from there, that networking tips and tricks resource that Amanda referenced is another great one for really learning how to confidently start conversations, build connections, and then follow up in a professional way. And don't miss the Handshake profile checklist as well. It is a simple but very powerful tool to make sure that your profile is fully polished and ready for employers to view. And employers will absolutely be viewing your Handshake profile. I also strongly encourage students to take advantage of Candid Career. So these videos are incredibly helpful for career fair preparation, professional attire tips, exploring different industries and career paths, as well as really learning how to confidently navigate those employer conversations. It's truly a great way to kind of build out that confidence, get that real world insight before you even walk into the event. On top of that, make sure your LinkedIn profile is also aligned with your Handshake profile so that your professional story is consistent across platforms. I also recommend taking advantage of resume reviews, mock interviews when available. Resume reviews really help to ensure that your experience and transferable skills are clearly communicated, and mock interviews really give you that chance to practice your delivery so you feel more confident and natural in real conversations. And then finally, we'll also be dropping the Commencement Career Fair checklist in the chat. This is a great step-by-step guide to really help you to stay organized and on track as you prepare. At the end of the day, I find that these resources all work together to really help you to show up prepared, confident, and really ready to make the most of every conversation and opportunity.
That preparation is key, is what I'm hearing. So, Amanda, beyond the career fair itself, how can graduates use alumni networks, Handshake, or LinkedIn to grow and maintain connections?
Yeah, I love this question, Ben, because building your network beyond the career fair is one of the smartest things that you can do for your career. So UAGC has a strong, diverse alumni community, and the best part is you are already a part of it. So I'm just going to cover a few powerful ways to tap into that network and expand your professional connections. So the first one is join UAGC Connect if you have not already joined it. So UAGC Connect is UAGC's official networking platform, and it's designed to bring students and alumni together. So in UAGC Connect, you can join a student club and community and network with people who share similar career goals. You can also use the directory to find and reach out to alumni who are working in your desired field or working at a company that interests you. You also want to make sure that you are leveraging Handshake. So you can expand your network in Handshake by following companies that you're interested in, like what Nicole was saying. And then you can search for UAGC students and alumni who have worked for those companies and reach out to them directly in Handshake with a message asking them for advice or insight about their experience. I also strongly recommend attending UAGC Career Services events. So webinars, career panels, and networking workshops are a great place to meet alumni and other industry professionals who are eager to give back and connect with students. So make sure that you keep an eye out for future events that are hosted by our department. So since networking with alumni is one of the most effective and often underused strategies for exploring career paths and landing job opportunities, we created an alumni networking guide. And this resource walks you through the process of how to use Handshake, UAGC Connect, and LinkedIn to identify and engage with UAGC alumni. So we are going to drop a link for that resource in the chat, and I strongly recommend checking that out.
The resources you guys are providing are amazing, and we'll make sure they make it to the chat. Nicole, if someone is interested but can't attend live, is there a way to still benefit from the fair or access materials afterward?
Absolutely, Ben. Great question. Even if you're not able to join us live, there are still so many different ways for you to take full advantage of the career fair and the amazing resources that are available to you. First of all participating employers and their company information are available in Handshake, which is our virtual career center. So you can access that through My UAGC. Within Handshake, you can explore those employer profiles, view the job postings, discover those upcoming events like what Amanda was talking about. And then, like we've been talking to, you can also connect with employers via Handshake. It is a great way to continue to engage with organizations before, during, and even after the fair, or even if you don't attend the event. Additionally, we have shared several helpful resources in the chat today that you can really use at any time during your career development, including networking tips and tricks guide. This would help you to confidently start those conversations and build professional connections. That commencement career fair checklist that I just referenced to really help you to stay organized and prepared for really any future networking opportunity. The resume module to help to strengthen out that resume, highlight those transferable skills. That amazing alumni networking resource that Amanda just talked about to really help you to support those long-term relationship building skills. And then the awesome elevator pitch resource that Amanda also referenced to really help you to confidently introduce yourself to employers really in any setting. Even if you're not attending the career fair live, you can still review employer information, prepare for future opportunities, and also follow up with organizations that you're really interested in potentially working for down the road. You want to think of this as an ongoing career building opportunity, not just a one-day event. So by using Handshake, these tools, these resources, you can really continue to build out meaningful connections and position yourself for long-term career success.
Okay. Like I said, a lot of resources available. I can't believe how much you guys are talking about what students can do. I'm blown away. Before we wrap up the prepared questions, do you guys have any final advice or encouragement for graduates preparing to attend the career fair?
Yes, Ben. I would say, my biggest piece of advice, it comes from my experience wearing a few different hats. I've been the corporate recruiter hiring people in, I've been a career advisor, and now I am the employee relations specialist. So I've seen firsthand in all of these roles, really just how impactful career fairs can be for students and graduates. And I've watched candidates walk away with interviews, internship offers, and even full-time roles. And for many, it really becomes the door that opens up a path to a new career opportunity that they didn't even know was possible. And across every lens that I've worked in, one thing stays consistent. Employers notice confidence, they notice preparation, and they also notice genuine curiosity. So be confident, trust the skills and experiences that you bring to the table, be prepared, research the companies you're interested in, have that resume ready to go, and come with those thoughtful questions and show curiosity. Don't be afraid to ask about roles or culture and growth opportunities, because that engagement is what's going to make you stand out. Also, don't underestimate the power of connection. A career fair really isn't just about getting hired on the spot. It's about building lasting relationships, networking with recruiters, and making a strong impression that can turn into opportunities down the line. And finally, enjoy the experience. They're fun. Career fairs are a blast. We all enjoy it so much. They're meant to be exploratory. They're meant to be energizing and growth focused. So when you show up prepared and confident and genuinely engaged, you're not just attending a career fair, you're actively opening doors to really what comes next in that career journey of yours. Warner, I don't know if you want to add anything into.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, Nicole just covered a lot of great info. For me, my advice would be to keep an open mind on the industry where you would like to apply your degree and your work experience. At a career fair, our commencement career fair is no different. You'll see several industries that are going to be represented. So you might see yourself working in one industry right now, but then you might consider you could apply your degree at another employer in a different industry. And especially when you have those conversations with the recruiter, that might happen. So for me, it's a combination of seeing myself working at an employer, making a positive impact, and doing something that matters. I think all this equates to having a rewarding career. If you're considering these things too, which many of us do, then I encourage you to talk to many employers during the career fair. Of course, you're going to have to pick and choose because it's only 3 hours. But at the same time, I mean, just talk to a lot of other great employers. You'd be surprised. So, give yourself a chance to meet and network with these amazing employers in person. I mean, who knows? You might even find an employer you never thought of that makes a perfect fit for you and gives you that rewarding career.
Thank you so much, Werner. So my final piece of advice is this. I am a huge believer in career fairs because I've seen firsthand how impactful they can be. When I was in college, I actually secured both my internship and my first full-time job through my university's career fairs. What made the difference was the opportunity to connect with employers in person, build that rapport with the recruiters, and make a really strong first impression. And those initial conversations at the career fair then led to interviews and then ultimately the job offers. And these were opportunities that I likely wouldn't have had access to without my university's career fairs. So, my final advice to you all is this: career fairs truly work and they can make a huge impact on your career. So, just make sure that you come prepared, you know your story, and just be ready to articulate your career goals. And then don't forget to let your genuine personality shine through during those conversations. It is that combination of preparation and authenticity that really helps you to stand out to these recruiters.
Be yourself. I love it. Thank you guys so much for this guidance. Again, I'm blown away. Want to point out a couple of shout outs in the chat. We have a distinguished alumni that was our previous keynote speaker from a few years ago. Kevin Daly is here. He's saying hi. He's one of the Harlem Globetrotters. He went to school. So good to see you, Kevin, in the chat. There's a few questions in here, but not too much because honestly, you guys covered so much. Yes, the career fair will be indoors. Great question. Graduation is at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. The correct answer is 9 a.m. on Sunday, the 31st. So not 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Thank you, Sean, for the question. Let's see here. Felissa says, I'm only a sophomore, but I wanted to know what to expect in the future. So if an individual isn't graduating, they could still come and attend the career fair if they wanted to, correct? Yes, getting some yeses there. That's excellent. My husband and I are flying in that morning. Will he be able to attend with me, being that we can't check into our hotel until 3? Family can definitely attend the career fair as well as all the other events that are happening on Saturday. So if your husband wants to walk around while you're attending the career fair, more power to him to do that. Here is an interesting question. Will the career fair help people that are looking for a job that have never worked before? Thank you, Marco, for that question. Anyone want to take that one up?
I can go ahead and go, and then Amanda, feel free to jump in too. Absolutely. I always think that career fairs is a great opportunity for you to use it to go around, ask various different employers, what is that they look for out of candidates, get a feel for what they're specifically hiring for. You can kind of get an idea as to the open roles, opportunities. Don't be afraid to ask, like if you're curious as to what a financial analyst role is, don't be afraid to ask the recruiter, what is the day in the life like of a financial analyst? And that could help you to get clarity too, even if you haven't necessarily had work in the past, you still have a lot of transferable skills from classes, from, experiential learning opportunities, from internships that you can relate over. That's a lot of what recruiters are looking for. When I used to do recruiting, I looked at kind of the entire candidate as a whole. Like, what are the entire skills that they bring to the table from their entire background? And that's a lot of what we're looking for in this market right now. It is a very skills-based hiring market. So that is a great opportunity for you to go and explore and really learn what opportunities are out there. I don't know if Amanda or Warner have anything else they want to add to that.
Yes, I will just add a little bit. I think career fairs are the perfect place if you are looking to make a career change. It's just such a great way for you to, like Nicole said, learn more about these different industries, about these different companies. From personal experience, when I was going to my career fairs back at my university, I thought I wanted to get into marketing right out of college. I was dead set on marketing. And then I attended the career fair and I started having these conversations and I met a company and they were just so passionate about sales and sales in the IT field. And I was like, oh, that's something I never even thought about. It piqued my interest. And that's what I ended up doing for my first full-time job out of college. And it was a wonderful experience. And I truly would not have entered the sales field without going to the career fair. So I really do think that just go in with an open mind and just be ready to learn about these different companies, about these roles. And, you may discover roles that you've never even thought about. That could be a really great next step for you.
Great.
I was just going to add for myself, because I served 10 years in the Air Force, I was looking at military organizations, corporations, things of that nature. I also was looking at telecommunications and others. I was like, where would I like to see myself after I get my degree in business management? And I ended up working in telecommunications. I could have gone to any of the military and government companies, because I had 10 years in the Air Force, and they absolutely would look at that and be like, hey, this is a great candidate. We should need to talk to him more. But you'd be surprised what you're going to find out when you go to a career fair. So that networking piece is so critical. Go out there and talk to people, learn. You can research companies, but you'd be surprised what you're going to learn when you have just a conversation with the recruiter that's there. And then don't be keep in mind too that a lot of our candidates will probably have their family members and friends around them. So guess what? They're going to probably ask questions too, because they're looking for work too, things like that. So you learn about all these things when you're standing there at the table and you're talking to a recruiter, and that is just precious. And definitely the things that we just mentioned earlier about networking and making sure that you follow up and connect and link in, and don't just let it just wither away because you put all this effort into coming to the career fair for what? You want to make sure that it does something for you. So that's what I would add.
That's perfect, guys. I am checking to make sure that we don't have any extra questions. Nothing that's popped up, even after reloading. So I'm going to say, as we close today's session, I just want to say preparing for a career fair is one of the most important steps you can take toward building meaningful professional connections and opening doors to new opportunities, as you heard my colleagues talk about. Also, remember that you're not alone in this process. The team in Career Services at the University of Arizona Global Campus are here to support you before, during, and after the career fair. Nicole, Amanda, and Werner, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate all you do for our students. And graduates and students, we look forward to seeing you at the career fair and celebrating you during commencement weekend. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.